Well, welcome back everybody to PoolieMagTV, the raw, unedited, unscripted NUFC fan channel where everybody's got an opinion and nobody's opinion's wrong. So this video is probably coming a little bit later than what I would expected, but like I say, sometimes these might be a little bit mishmashed. And you might think, well, that topic is a couple of days old or this and that, but I have got a life and YouTube isn't me full-time job, and I have, a full-time job that I've got to go to and get buses to, and this is a passion. This is a little bit of a side passion of mine, and I really enjoy doing it. So, with that said, if you like what you see, hit like, hit subscribe, share the channel, help it grow, and we are going to get into the topic straight away. This is the Newcastle hangover from Alexander Isak. Now, I didn't think I would be making any more Alexander Isak videos, if I'm honest, and I don't really want to, but it's glaringly obvious that Newcastle United do have a little bit of an Isak hangover. When you've been out on the drink and you've been guzzling and you wake up the next day, oh, how have I done that? And you think, oh God, I can't be bothered with this. Well, that's a little bit what Newcastle are like at the minute. And I might be a little bit harsh there. I know we won 4-1 against Bradford and looked really well, but that's Bradford. And I'm not taking that away from anybody. Bruno was great. I thought Lewis Marley had his best game in a very long time in a Newcastle shirt. Voltemara come on and had some good touches. Barnes with an assist. With a Sula played really, really well. But again, it's Bradford. The defence looked solid, but so they should against Bradford. And what I'm on about is the Champions League and the league. And it's glaringly obvious to me that we have a little bit of an Isak hangover. Now, obviously, he's a world-class striker. So it's going to be hard to replace him. And I truly believe that Nick Voltemara will come good. I think he has come good. He's scored and he looks well. But he's not an out-and-out goal scorer, as you can see. He likes to link up the play. We're missing Wissa badly. We are missing Wissa badly. I thought Wissa would have been the one to come straight in. Voltemara would have been the one to be on the bench a bit, come on, start the cup games, this and that. Integrate slowly so he gets used to the pace and not be oiling at the deep end. And I think, unfortunately for Wissa's injury, we've had to now oil Voltemara in at the deep end, haven't we? Which is not his fault, and I don't think he's played badly. I thought he played really well when he come on against Bradford the other day. I thought he looked sharp. His link-up play with Harvey Barnes and Bruno was really, really good. But he's not an out-and-out goal scorer, as you can see. His header was great against Wolves, and his link-up play there was really good. But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. And apparently we're in the market for another striker in January due to Wissa probably been at the AFCON. So what I'm thinking is, how did Newcastle get over this hangover? How did Newcastle, obviously when you have an hangover, you usually have a full English breakfast. You might have a glass of fresh orange, you might have some fruit, you might have your Sunday dinner. Try and soak up that ale and try and move forward. How do we do that in a football manner? How do we get over this hangover? Because we're playing well up until it gets to the final third, by the Bradford game and by the Anthony Gordon goal, by the way, against Barcelona, which was really good. But we just don't seem to have that killer instinct up front at the minute. And as much as I like Willa Sula and as much as I like his character, that's the type of game he should be playing in the Bradford game. He's not a Premier League player, is he? Let's face it. At the minute, would you put Willa Sula to start against Arsenal? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't, personally. You would have to start Voltemara. Now, starting Voltemara, it's the only thing we can do. And I like Voltemara, I like what I see of him. But is he going to be... Does he terrify defences? Or is he more of a number 10 and older player? I think him and Wissa could be like an Esquion type of thing. I'm not saying he's as hustle and bustle as Esky, but you get what I mean. A bit like a Quinn and Phillips. A little bit of a big man, smaller man type thing. Where he holds the ball up, gets the wingers into play, gets the midfield into play, and leaves Wissa to go in behind. We don't have that option at the minute. And Barnes and Gordon, as much as they're roughing and puffing, don't seem like they're going to score. And Alanga's had a couple of good games, but he seems to be determined to pass without shooting. Jacob Murphy, we know, likes to cross the ball in. But without that out-and-out goal scorer, how do we get over this? Now, I think he's got to, I think Eddie Howe has to have a word with Voldemar and say, look, whilst this is not playing, we need you to be facing the goal more, not have your back to the goal. We need you to be more alert in the box instead of playing outside the box. He has a little bit of Harry Kane about him, doesn't he? Where he likes to drop deep. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think at the minute, whilst our wingers aren't firing on all cylinders, and whilst we don't have Wissa, I think he needs to be in the box. I think Voldemar needs to be in the box. And we need to be crossing into the box. We need to adapt the way we play. We can't be playing this intricate football all the time and then have nobody to finish anything off. Voldemar is 6'6". He is an intricate player. He can play with the ball at his feet. And I wouldn't be surprised if he skinned a few players and scored. Well, at the minute, I feel like his best position would be behind Wissa. And I think we would have to, once we get both of them fully fit, I think we'd have to change the system a little bit to fit them both in. I really do. And I think if we had him behind Wissa, I think we'd be absolutely fantastic. But at the minute, we don't have Wissa there. Gordon's huffing and puffing, but he looks slightly unfit. And he tried his hardest against Bradford, but didn't really do anything great. Harvey Barnes looks shot of confidence. I know he got a good assist against Bradford for the second with the Sula goal, but I just think he looks really short of confidence in front of goal. He's skying balls, he's hitting the defenders all the time. So whilst that's happening, we can't be like that against Arsenal. I would be saying to Voldemar, look, stay in the box. I know you like to come deep, I know you like to link up the play, but for this match, we need you in the box. I would play Murphy, because Murphy has a better cross than Elanga, I'd say, but I'm not too sure about that. Elanga's got some good balls into the box, but again, we haven't had a striker to finish them off. We've started Gordon up front 3 times this season, it hasn't worked. The one time we started Voldemar up front, we've won. And he, although he was linking in the box, linking outside the box and all that jazz, he was in the box for Wolves. And that's where we need him. That's the only way we're going to get over this Isak hangover, is by having our strikers in the box. And once we get Wissa back, and once Voldemar is fully integrated into the team, then we can he can come deeper. But we need our wingers to start shooting more. We need, especially our right-sided wingers. I know Gordon and Barnes have been shooting, but it's just not coming off at the minute. But Murphy and Elanga, especially Elanga, needs to start shooting more. You can't score if you don't shoot. And we need our wingers to start scoring more, to take the pressure off our new striker, to take the pressure off Wissa, who's had no pre-season, and now he's been injured. So he's not going to walk straight back into the team, is he? So Wissa might be fit in 4 weeks, but is he going to really be fit to start in 4 weeks? So we need to adapt the way we play. That's the only way we're going to get over this Isak hangover. Now, my thumbnail might be a little bit clickbaity, but I don't think it is. I know we battered Bradford, but so we should. Other than that, well, we've puffed and puffed, but we haven't really done much, have we? We've had 0-0s against Bournemouth, we've had 0-0s against Leeds, 0-0s against Aston Villa. We scored 2 against Liverpool, but still got beat. And then we scored 1 right at the death against Barcelona, but got beaten. Could have beaten Liverpool and could have beaten Barcelona with a top draw striker. Now, I'm not saying Voldemar is not top draw, but he's not Premier League. He's not used to the rigours of the Premier League yet, is he? So until he is, and until we can really truly integrate him into our team, he just needs to stay in the box for me. I love his skill. I love where he can dance past players, and he did it against Bradford, and he done it against Wolves, and he did it a little bit against Barcelona, a little bit, where he was linking up with a player and that. That's brilliant. But that's like near the halfway line or on the wing or outside the box. We need you in the box at the minute. Because at the minute, our wingers aren't scoring, and Wissa's not playing. So for me, that's the only way we get over this Isak hangover. Voldemar stays solely in the box. Now, I'm not saying you can't come out the box as Isak did, but I meant for the majority of the game, face the goal, not have your back to the goal. I know you're silky, I know you're skillful, and I know you're great at picking a pass, but this is Arsenal we're talking about. This isn't Bradford. This isn't Wolves. This is Arsenal. We need a big presence in the box against Arsenal. We need our wingers to start firing on all cylinders to take the pressure off. But we need We need somebody in the box. We need that presence to, because they've got Saliba, they might have Mosquera, they've got Gabriel. They've got a quality defence, and they probably haven't played against anybody like Voltemade. Well, you're not going to see the best of Voltemade until Wissa's back for me, because I don't feel like Voltemade is an out-and-out goal scorer. I think he's more of a hybrid, bit of a Berbatov. You know, he's a number 10, not a number 9 for me. So I think that's the only way we get, because I don't care what anybody says. Yes, the win against Bradford was great, but we are struggling to score goals in the big games. And the only way we get rid of the Isak hangover for me is have our right wingers shoot a little bit more, but be a little bit more precise with our crossing, and a little bit more precise and a little bit calmer in front of goal. Because at the minute we're rushing shots because we haven't scored many. So we're trying too hard. Just calm it down a little bit. Have Voltemade spend the majority of the game in the box where he can knock it down, he can header it, he can use his strength, he can use his physicality, and that might not be how he wants to play all the time. And I don't think it should be how he plays all the time. But at the minute, we need somebody in the box like he was against Wolves. If he was on against Barcelona, I honestly believe that would have been the tactic. Stay in the box. Stay in the box. As much as you can. Yes, you've got to drop deep at times. I'm well aware of that. But for the majority of the game, stay in the box. We've got wingers who can burn with pace. But if they're crossing in and you're on the halfway line, or you're on the edge of the box and they're crossing into the penalty spot, you're not going to get there. Stay in the box. You won't see the best of Voltemade until Wissa's back, and until our wingers start being a little bit more composed, because he is, I feel, a Berbatov, a number 10 who can just drift all over, link in play, he'll score a screamer, he'll get a penalty, you know, and he'll get the odd header, and he will get the odd tap in. But I think he likes to play more outside the box and link the play up and intricate skills and this and that. At the minute, that's not what we need, for me. Looks good, but at the minute we need him in the box. And I honestly believe that's the only way we get rid of this Isak hangover in the Premier League and the Champions League, is having Voltemade in the box more often than not. Now, I don't know if anybody agrees with that, so if you don't agree with that, please comment down below, and I want to hear your opinions on how we get rid of this Isak hangover, which has been touted in the media. My thumbnail might sound a little bit disastrous, but anyway, hopefully people will click on it. I'm being honest, you know, the more controversial a thumbnail seems to be, the more people click on it. I don't get many views, so I'm trying to get more views. But I do believe we will come good, but that's just my opinion on how we get rid of the Isak hangover. Hit like, hit subscribe, comment down below if you agree, disagree, or a bit indifferent. And anyway, have a lovely weekend, folks. Keep it black and white and keep it PoolieMagTV. Over and out.